spooky spoilers in our Ontario with The Dead Zone 1983. The movie begins in Stouffville, Ontario, Canada, at a public school where Christopher Walken's teaching a class. He's reading Edgar Allan Poe the Raven, and he asks after reading the creepy-ass tale that it was pretty good, huh? And the class responds in silence, which means they weren't paying attention or that they're just completely weirded out because he's Christopher Walken, you know. Then Christopher Walken meets up with Brooke Adams, and then they go to Wonderland and ride the roller coaster, and it's lovely, it's nice, they're having a good time. And then out of nowhere, during the roller coaster ride, Christopher Walken starts to get the dead zone, but it's not the dead zone yet. He just has headaches and nausea, and it's not because of the roller coaster, it's because of the dead zone. After a very successful date, he drops Brooke Adams at her house, and Brooke Adams invites Christopher Walken for some coffee. And Christopher Walken politely declines and says, I'm good, I'm gonna go home in the pouring rain. While he's driving home in the pouring rain, there's a milk truck driver driving in the pouring rain coming at him. The truck driver falls asleep. He crashes the truck into a ditch, but the milk container, it's not in the ditch. It's dislodged and sliding towards Christopher Walken. And Christopher Walken slams right into the milk truck container, putting him in a coma. When Christopher Walken awakes, he finds out that he's been in a coma for 5 years, and that everyone has moved on or they've gone completely weird. While Christopher Walken is healing from his milk-related incident car crash, a nurse comes in to see how he's doing, and he accidentally touches the nurse's hand by grabbing the nurse's hand forcefully. And then he sees that through the dead zone, the nurse has a daughter, and the daughter is in a burning house. And then he says to the nurse, the house is gonna burn. And the nurse says, holy crap, I'm gonna go save my daughter. And she does. And Christopher Walken's like, that's great, okay. So while at the Niagara-on-the-Lake clinic, he grabs Herbert Lom's hand, and Herbert Lom's like, what are you doing grabbing my hand? And Christopher Walken is saying to him, the boy is safe, and your mama is still alive. During World War II, the occupation of the Nazi soldiers. And Herbert Lom's like, I don't think that's possible. And Christopher Walken falls over and says, that's possible. And then he calls somebody, and miraculously enough, he finds his mother in like 12 seconds, and it's really awesome. And Christopher Walken says to Herbert Lom, there you go, man. I got that dead zone. Then they hold a news conference because everyone figures out that Christopher Walken, he's got the dead zone. Then Roger Dunn walks up and says, hey man, I'm reporting stuff, and I'm reporting that you're full of shit, man. And I don't believe a single word you're saying, Christopher Walken. So Christopher Walken says, give me your hand, Roger Dunn. I'm gonna do that dead zone on you. And he does. And he tells Roger Dunn, he's like, listen man, someone committed suicide. And it was your sister. The sister is a suicide. And the guy's like, oh crap, that makes me sad. And everyone's really like, okay, Christopher Walken's got the dead zone. We know exactly what that is, and we understand. Then out of nowhere, Jackie Burroughs suffers a fatal heart attack while watching Christopher Walken on the television because she can't understand the dead zone. Distraught and very sad, Christopher Walken then moves in with his father, Sean Sullivan, in Chalk, Ontario, Canada, to hide away from the world. But then Tom Skerritt shows up from Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, as a sheriff, and he tells Christopher Walken that there's a serial killer on the loose, and he needs to stop him, and he needs the dead zone. The dead zone will help solve the serial killer's evil reign of terror. And Christopher Walken says, I'm not gonna do that. Forget it. Then the next day, Brooke Adams shows up with her son or daughter, whatever the hell it is, and she's like, hi, I still love you, and Christopher Walken says, I still love you too, and then they have sex, or making bookcases, as Christopher Walken does, Sean Sullivan, and then I forget that she met Christopher Walken while chugging. Yeah, that's right. Christopher Walken's trying to fix his legs while chugging. I want to go for a chug myself. Nothing like a good chug. So Christopher Walken decides, okay, I'm gonna go help Tom Skerritt over at Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario to solve the Scissor Man's serial killing murders. So he goes to a tunnel at Niagara Falls, and in the tunnel, he hands a cigarette pack by Tom Skerritt, and then he goes, I got nothing here. That dead zone did not work with a cigarette pack. So then they're like, oh crap, I give up. And then Nicholas Campbell gets informed by another officer, and then he informs Tom Skerritt that there's another murder at the gazebo at Niagara-on-the-Lake. So they leave the Niagara Falls tunnel, go to the Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario gazebo, and there's a dead body there. Then Tom Skerritt says to Nicholas Campbell, do you recognize her? And Nicholas Campbell goes, I recognize her. I know her. Then he tells Christopher Walken, do the dead zone and see what you get. So he does the dead zone on the dead body, and he says, he knows her. Oh no, she knows him. And she's not afraid. And then Christopher Walken has flashbacks through the dead zone. And through the flashbacks through the dead zone, it's revealed that Nicholas Campbell is the Scissor serial killer. And then before they can arrest him, Tom Skerritt looks around and goes, where the fuck is Nicholas Campbell? And some of the people are like, he's gone, he took off. So then Tom Skerritt and Christopher Walken go to Nicholas Campbell's house, and they're greeted by Nicholas Campbell's mother, Colleen Dewhurst. And Colleen Dewhurst is like, Nicholas Campbell isn't here. Try again next time. But Christopher Walken saw Nicholas Campbell in the window, so they barge in, and then Colleen Dewhurst says, Christopher Walken, you got the dead zone and you're the devil. Clearly not my son, he just sings, and I guess they're all crazy in that house. So then, before they can get to Nicholas Campbell, he uses the scissors he used on his victims on himself, and he's dead in a bathtub. And then Tom Skerritt's like, oh, that's kinda gross. And then Christopher Walken's like, that's gross, I'm gonna walk out of this room. But Colleen Dewhurst has Nicholas Campbell's gun, and she shoots Christopher Walken, and then Tom Skerritt shoots Colleen Dewhurst, and she dies. But everyone saves the day, and the serial killer is brought to justice for death and the dead zone. So, in order to get away from all the craziness and the fact that he has a bullet wound that makes him can't walk even more, he makes him even more severely disabled, Christopher Walken, he moves away from Chalk Lake, Ontario to Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario to hide away from all the paparazzi reporters and the fact that he doesn't want people to know that he has that dead zone power. So he becomes a tutor for children, and he just sits inside a house all day teaching children, and he loves it because he's a teacher, like in the beginning of the movie, and it's all fine and dandy. Until Herbert Lom shows up, and he says, I'm your Dr. Christopher Walken, and let me tell you something. The dead zone is slowly killing you. It's draining your life force. Every time you use it, it's killing you and making you even weaker. Don't mind the bullet. It's severely hampering your walk. It's totally the dead zone. And Christopher Walken's like, yeah, you're right. It's the dead zone that's slowly killing me. I'm not gonna use the dead zone. I wasn't using it anyway, so it's all good. Thanks, Herbert Lom. Then Tony Zerbe shows up and says, hey, Christopher Walken, my son Simon Craig is a smart boy, but he's a really weird kid, and you're kind of a weird guy with your dead zone powers, but I haven't told you that yet, so don't mind that reveal. Hey, can you tutor my son, Simon Craig, so he can be a smart guy and social and do hockey? I like hockey. And Christopher Walken's like, yeah, that's okay. Bring him over. And then Tony Zerbe says, that's not how it works. You have to come to me, visit my house. And Christopher Walken, he agrees. So he visits the house and he becomes a very good mentor and friend to Simon Craig. And as they become close, he knows that we know that something bad's gonna happen. And so does Christopher Walken, because out of nowhere, while at the home of Tony Zerbe, the evil villain of the movie, that's right, Martin Sheen shows up. And Martin Sheen says, hi, I'm an evil politician. So evil that I threaten everyone with their lives if they threaten to besmirch my name. And I have hired muscle in the form of Giza Kovacs. And Giza Kovacs like, yeah, I'm the security guy, and I got all sorts of evil looks and stares and weapons training. I'm a violent man. God praise and God bless America. And then Martin Sheen hands him a button and says, I'm so evil. And they walk away saying how much of it's a beautiful day. And Christopher Walken's like, oh no, that's not good. And Tony Zerbe's like, yeah, that guy's evil. Watch out for that guy. He's so evil. And they did this while watching TV. And it's a really nice moment to show how evil Martin Sheen is. But there's a Kovacs at his side. So while Christopher Walken is tutoring Simon Craig, he gets visited by a political stooge in the form of Brooke Adams' husband, Barry Flatman. And Barry Flatman says to Christopher Walken, here is a button for Martin Sheen. He's a great guy. He's gonna turn this world around. And by doing that, by electing him as your United States President of the United States of America, even though this is Niagara on the Lake Ontario. Then Brooke Adams walks up to see what her husband's up to, and then she is shocked to find out that it's Christopher Walken, her former lover. And she's like, oh no, hey, how's it going, Christopher Walken? Well, it's nice to meet you. I'm just gonna walk back with my husband, Barry Flatman, and where I'm gonna ignore you because I'm a married woman. And then Christopher Walken, so forlorn, so distraught, his heart broken, he inappropriately hugs Simon Craig without consent, and while he's hugging him, he gets into the dead zone. And while in the dead zone, he sees that Simon Craig and a couple other guys are playing hockey, and they fall through the ice. And then he's like, oh no, you're gonna fall through the ice. So then he jogging over to Tony Zerbe's house and says, you can't do it. You can't do the hockey practice because. And then Tony's like, hey man, I'm Tony Zerbe. I do what I want, and my son Simon Craig's gonna do whatever he wants. And they're gonna have a hockey practice, and it's gonna be great. And then Christopher Walken takes his cane and smashes a candy jar and says, the ice is gonna break. And then Tony Zerbe's like, okay, you're out of line, man, but it's okay, I believe you. So we won't do it. But he lied to Christopher Walken, and then he says, oh, by the way, Christopher Walken, you're fired as well. And then as they're about to go to hockey practice, Simon Craig goes, I don't want to go to the hockey practice, Dad. And his dad, Tony Zerbe, says, oh, okay, fine. stay here, but I'm gonna go to the hockey practice. And then at the hockey practice, guess what? The ice broke, and it killed 2 kids. The dead zone was right. Christopher Walken was right. Now feeling like a full-fledged superhero with the power of the dead zone, Christopher Walken decides he's gonna attend the rally for Martin Sheen. And he goes through the crowd as Martin Sheen's shaking hands, kissing babies, and having a good time being Martin Sheen. And out of nowhere, Christopher Walken manages to get up to Charlie Sheen through the protective shield of Giza Kovacs. He was too quick. It must have been the dead zone that stopped Giza Kovacs from saving Martin Sheen's integrity. He shakes his hand, and then he looks, and the dead zone reveals what Martin Sheen's gonna do if he's president of the United States. That dead zone reveals that Martin Sheen, wearing some really nice gold and blue, I guess that's royal blue striped PJs, pushes a nuke button because the Russians are pissing him off, and Martin Sheen believes that he's the voice of the people, and he's a crazy son of a bitch, and the nukes fly, and then Giza Kovacs manages to separate them, but it's too late. The dead zone revealed that Martin Sheen's gonna kill the world. So then Christopher Walken, he asks Herbert Lom, hey man, since you got that World War II storyline, will it be good to kill Hitler before he became Hitler? And Herbert Lom's like, hey man, since my character is that of 1940 something World War II character background, this makes sense for me to tell you that yes, you should kill Adolf Hitler before he becomes Adolf Hitler, but the sacrifice will be you as well. And Christopher Walken, through that dead zone power, goes, yeah, that's what I thought, so I'm gonna do that. It's time to kill Martin Sheen before he releases the nukes. So then Christopher Walken leaves a very heartfelt note for Brooke Adams, telling him that he's gonna do something crazy, but it's the dead zone, and he's gonna be a superhero, and he's gonna sacrifice himself because it's for what's good, it's a good cause. And then he's like, okay, he gets a gun. And he goes to Martin Sheen's rally at Orono, Ontario, Canada. He goes up to the balcony with his gun. He's fumbling around with loading the gun. He drops a bullet on the floor of the auditorium in Orono, Ontario, Canada. And then Martin Sheen walks out. He's like, hey, I'm Martin Sheen, and I'm a great guy. I'm not a shady guy. It's all good. You can trust me. Look, I got a family. And there's a mother holding a baby, and it's all good. And the mother holding the baby is Brooke Adams. It's Brooke Adams' baby. So then out of nowhere, Christopher Walken takes his gun, and he tries to shoot Martin Sheen, but Martin Sheen goes, haha, I got one better than you. I'm gonna use this baby as a human shield. Haha, I thwarted you, Christopher Walken. And then a photographer takes a picture of that, and he's like, that's not good. And then out of nowhere, the baby gets taken back by Brooke Adams. And then my Christopher Walken's like, okay, I got another clear shot again because I didn't want to shoot Martin Sheen while he's holding up the baby. I can't do it. That's my Achilles heel for that dead zone. Then out of nowhere, during all this crazy crap going on, Giza Kovacs lines up his shot, and he's a really good shot because he shoots Christopher Walken in the hand, and then he shoots Christopher Walken in the heart. The bullet goes straight through to the light, and then out of nowhere, Christopher Walken's stunt dummy falls from the balcony to his death, and then out of nowhere, Christopher Walken's on the floor, dying slowly. And then as Martin Sheen walks up and says, you son of a bitch, what are you doing? Christopher Walken grabs Martin Sheen's hand, and he holds his hand, and he looks deep into Christopher Walken, Martin Sheen's eye, and Christopher Walken says, through the dead zone visions, you're finished. Because he sees that Martin Sheen's photo of holding up a baby as a human shield is terrible. Well, no shit. And then he commits suicide because he's not popular and he's a monster. And then Martin Sheen runs away with with Giza Kovacs to go find that photographer, but we all know that the dead zone's never wrong. And then Brooke Adams holds Christopher Walken's hands and says, I love you. And then Christopher Walken says, I love you too. And then Christopher Walken dies. And that's the end of the Dead Zone. Thank you for watching. Feel free to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Comment below what you think of the Dead Zone 1983. And make sure to share this if you want. If you don't want, I understand. It's okay. And that's gonna do it for another movie for the very first spoiler review. Spooky spoiler review. We'll spook you later and we'll scare you next time.